Salam jumpa kembali di Jejak Papua Channel. Sahabat, salah satu cadangan emas dan tembaga terbesar di dunia terletak di Grasberg di Papua. Proyek pertambangan yang dioperasikan oleh PT Freeport Indonesia, perusahaan patungan antara pemerintah Indonesia dan perusahaan Amerika Serikat, Freeport, ditandai dengan kondisi kerja yang buruk dan kerusakan lingkungan serta keracunan dalam skala besar. Selain itu, perampasan tanah dan pendirian perkebunan kelapa sawit menimbulkan ancaman lebih lanjut terhadap lingkungan dan penduduk di Papua. Baik minyak sawit maupun tembaga diekspor ke Jerman dan digunakan dalam produk yang kita gunakan sehari-hari. Presentasi yang disampaikan oleh Oridek dalam video ini menjelaskan secara lebih rinci bagaimana penduduk Papua yang mata pencahariannya berasal dari hutan hujan terkena dampak pertambangan dan pengundulan hutan. Penggabungan perusakan lingkungan dan seruan kebebasan dalam lagu dan musik merupakan mekanisme penanggulangan yang ditonjolkan dalam presentasi yang dilakukan oleh Oridek ini. Sahabat, Oridek adalah anggota eksekutif United Liberation Movement for West Papua dan koordinator Free West Papua Campaign di Belanda. Ayah dari Oridek adalah musisi dan antropolog Papua Barat, Arnold Demikian ditulis dan dipublikasikan dalam channel YouTube Free West Papua Campaign Nederland. Selamat menonton dan ambil tindakan untuk selamatkan alam dan manusia Papua.
Sinan gapon Rover dogine Yaranda Yores ro Supo Jermani Si Ara Fabio. So I said hello to my ancestors, and I thank them. I want them to listen to my song, to my hello, and I wanted to let them know that today I'm here in Germany, and I'm so sorry that I'm not in Papua. So my name is Oridek. Before I introduce myself, I would like to ask my team members. We come all the way from the Netherlands with the four of our team. Our sister from the media, Priscilla's on the backside, and I will ask my colleagues to introduce themselves before we start.
My name is Henny Sapioper. I am a daughter of a freedom fighter, Julian Sapioper. He was a messenger in the liberation movement. He became a political prisoner for many years, for many times. The Indonesian intelligence wanted to kill him, kill my father. But he managed to escape. And with my mother, Josephine, were loyal to the struggle until the end of their lives in exile in the Netherlands. I will always honor the struggle. Today I'm here to represent our mothers and children who are forced to seek refuge in the jungle of West Papua. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mr. Tommy, and I'm 39 years, and I'm from the Netherlands in the city Den Haag. And how I become involved with this, because my father, he was the leader of the South Province of West Papua, and now he's 1 year has passed away. and I will keep his spark and spirit for the fight for my country. Thank you.
That was, okay. Now that's our introduction song. We wanted to, before we talk about the difficult things in West Papua, we wanted to have a look about how beautiful West Papua is. We have high mountains, we have a beautiful islands and ocean, but there's more going on in West Papua. It's not only a paradise for many of us. There's something going on which has been hidden for many years, and that's why we are here. My name is Oridek. I'm the oldest son of Arnold Up. He was a musician, he was an anthropologist, who was murdered by the Indonesian forces in 1984. They killed him for no reason, actually. His crime was making music, his crime was creating art, his crime was writing songs about freedom, about the beauty of West Papua. That was his only crime. But he became a danger because he was responsible for gathering, collecting songs and stories of Papua. And with his group, the Mambasak, they managed to preserve our culture. They managed to inform our people about our cultural identity. So he became an enemy, but because the Indonesian state back then, under the Suharto regime, they couldn't keep him in prison because they had no reason to keep him in prison. And my father was the curator of the museum, and he had a lot of friends outside West Papua. So it was dangerous for Indonesia to keep him in prison without any clear crime. Because he wasn't a criminal. He was a peace-loving guy who was making music, writing poets, telling jokes. So this kind of man you cannot keep in prison. And he had a lot of friends outside West Papua, and that's why he was a danger. He became a target, and he got killed. And you can look it up on the internet. When you click down Arnold Up, you will read how who he was and why he got killed by the Indonesian forces. And that's why for me it's an honor to to sing songs because our songs, we tell the story of West Papua. We tell about our happiness, about hope, but we also sing and tell about the sorrow, about the cry of our mothers, about the killing of our people. But we are not here to talk about me. I was invited to tell something about the Grasberg, about the mining problem in West Papua. So I've asked our team to prepare a short introduction video.
Blood and gold from West Papua. West Papua is located to the north of Australia and just below the equator. It is home to 1.5 million indigenous peoples who speak over 250 languages. West Papua is a biodiversity hotspot with over 70,700 species of flora and fauna, 32 million hectares of old-growth tropical rainforests and mangroves, and one of the world's richest marine reef environments with 565 species of coral. Located on the western half of the island of New Guinea, West Papua is a militarized territory, the site of a long-term conflict between Indonesia and indigenous Papuans seeking self-determination, the unfinished decolonization. After a little contact with the Western world, it was finally formally colonized by the Netherlands in 1898. The islands that now make up Indonesia were also colonized by the Dutch, but when the Republic of Indonesia became an independent nation state in 1949, West Papua did not join the country. The Dutch government recognized that West Papua was geographically, ethnically and culturally very different from Indonesia, so the Dutch government began preparing West Papua for its own independence throughout the 1950s. At the end of 1961, West Papua held a congress at which its people declared independence and raised their new flag, the Morning Star. But within months the dream was dead. The Indonesian government wanted all of the former Dutch colonies in the Asia-Pacific region, and the Indonesian military soon invaded West Papua. Conflict broke out between the Netherlands, Indonesia, and the indigenous Papuans regarding control of the territory. There was an agreement between the Dutch government and the Indonesian government, the so-called New York Agreement, which was made on 15 August 1962. The indigenous Papuans were never involved in the decision-making. A sham election with a pre-arranged end result took place in 1969, the so-called Act of Free Choice. The United Nations took note, and the Indonesian annexation of West Papua was a fact. The Freeport-McMoRan Mining Company and the sellout of West Papua. Central to the conflict is the Grasberg mine, located on the Melanesian section of the Pacific Ring of Fire. The mine contains the planet's largest combined reserve of copper and gold. Freeport's involvement in Indonesia dates back to the Suharto military dictatorship, which signed over 250,000 acres of West Papuan territory in 1967. Freeport, the transnational company that owns and operates the mine, has been dumping vast quantities of toxic residue downstream into the rivers and the sea, perpetrating an environmental disaster. The company has controversial security arrangements with the Indonesian military, which continues to commit severe human rights violations and suppress the political free speech. Journalists, humanitarian workers and researchers face restricted movement in the region, requiring remote methods of visualizing and reporting on the ongoing conflict. Until this present day, West Papua is still a no-go zone for foreign journalists or NGOs. No entrance without permission and supervision from the Indonesian government. Save West Papua before it's too late. Blood and gold from West Papua.
Yes. Save West Papua before it's too late. It's something we say many times because we are very, very concerned about our people. So we always, when we talk, please save our people from the suffering, save our people from extinction, because that's what's coming. That's the dark cloud we are seeing, we are witnessing every day in West Papua. So we want to talk about the grass-bed mine, because for us West Papuans, that's the beginning of all suffering. As you have heard, the American company already signed an agreement before we got the chance to vote, before the so-called Act of Free Choice in 1969. The American Freeport McMoran, they signed an agreement with Suharto in 1967. It's 2 years before we got the chance to vote. So we should ask ourselves, is it legal for America to extract copper and gold back then? Is it illegal today? We are talking about profit, but for the Amuma people and the Chamorro people, the customary landowners, the grass-bed mountain is the sacred head of their mother. We say the land as our mother. So when they start digging, they're hurting our mother. That's how our people, the Amuma and the Chamorro tribe, see the whole situation. Yes, West Papua is still an occupied territory. That's how we, West Papua, see it. We don't recognize the Indonesian illegal annexation in West Papua. For many, it's a reality because they are there. They're sending troops, they're sending the military to West Papua. They're sending millions of transmigration to West Papua. But the Papua themselves, like myself and like many others, we don't, we reject the annexation of our homeland. We don't acknowledge Indonesia as the rightful owners of our country, because we are the landowners. We never got the chance to actually exercise our right to self-determination. So the grass-bed gold and copper mine is illegal in West Papua. It has been conducted without the consent of our people, without the approval of the Amuma and the Chamorro people. This is how the grass-bed mine looks like from space. It's like a big hole. It used to be a mountain. There's a picture about how it used to look like. As you can see on the left side from your point of view, how it started back in the 70s. There used to be big mountains. First they found the edge bed, but then they realized that there's a bigger amount of gold and copper in the grass bed. So the grass bed was the second mountain, and this is how it's going. The mountain disappeared and it became a crater in West Papua. So this is how it looks now in the land of the Amuma and the Chamorro people. And yeah, we can ask ourselves, where do all these people go? So since the 60s, you can read about reports about military operations in that area, because they needed to clear the area for this operation. A lot of military operations was taking place under the Suharto regime. So people had to move. They grabbed the land, so they forcibly intimidate people to leave their land so that they can freely conduct this mining operation. Economic profits versus ecological impact. Yes, when we are talking about mining, it's always about profits, it's always about making money. And this is some results from 2023. I hope you can read the data, copper and gold. For people, you know, we are talking about 30,082,191.76 per day. That's what they gain from Freeport. Only Freeport. We are not talking about timber. We are not talking about the MIFE project in Mesos customary land. We are not talking about gas and oil or fishery. No, we are only talking about one mine, the Grasberg mine, 30 million a day. Against, it used to be 10,000 tons of toxic, which is now 300,000 tons of toxic every day that they are dumping in our rivers, which reach the sea. Can you imagine? No river can survive those kind of environmental violations, you know. So they did not only chase our people to leave the land, they also destroy our environment. They destroy our rivers, they destroy our mountains, they destroy the whole ecosystem. So for many people here in the Western world, it's just some trees and some jungle. But for us, for our people, that's our supermarket. That's where we get our food. That's our pharmacy. That's where we get our medicine. So for many people, it's just some trees and some water, some river. But for us, we don't eat gold. We don't eat money. We live from the land. Our mother gave us the land. If you don't take care of your mother, you will have no food. You will have no life. So that's the profit and that's the impact of what Freeport-McMoRan and Indonesia is committing on a daily basis in the land of the movement and Moro people. So yeah, sometimes it's hard for us as activists to tell this kind of facts. But we are, it's our reality. You know, we know that, yeah, like city of Hamburg, copper is not something new. Hamburg is also built, the economy is built by this kind of trade. The West is trading on the blood and tears of our people. You know, when you trade in an occupied territory and you purposely turn a blind eye and don't see the human rights violations, and you don't see the environmental violations, yeah, so you are actually, the gold and the copper is actually made from blood. So the title is perfect, blood and gold from West Papua, because your blood is full with as your gold is full with our blood. So that's the painful truth for my people. But like I said, it's not only gold, it's gas and oil, timber, fishery. And for us, it's all about land grab. It's all about losing your land, being chased away by military forces, being forced to leave your country and try to find new life in somewhere else, in other areas, which can result in conflicts with other tribes. Those are the things that people do not realize. the impact on the ground, the impact on the ordinary people. But this is not the thinking of the people who are making money. They only think about money. They want to make profit, of course. That's the Aqua River. Like I said, back in the days, 10,000 tons of toxic every day. Now we are talking about 300,000 tons of toxic every day. That's a river which now doesn't look like a river. Yeah. But who cares? It's just a river. But nobody's talking about the ecosystem, about our drinking water, about, you know, our, yeah, it's a supermarket. What are those people going to eat? Jakarta wants us to eat rice. But before they came with the rice and the noodles, we had our own food. But now, when you destroy our land, yeah, you force us to eat those food. But we have our own food. You know, people want us to change, they want us to forget who we are. But who has the right to do so? I don't have the right to come here and change you to be someone else. I don't have that right, and so does Indonesia. You don't have the right to change who we are. We don't have the right to change you. You may be the one who he wants to be. But that's the painful truth. That's the reality in Papua. This is one problem, but there are many problems. Like in Emas, land, people, his entire wood. If you know the MIFE project, it's very important for the palm oil industry. Many thousands, millions of acres were bought and sold. I read something about $5 for 100 acres. $5. They bought for $5. They bought 100 acres from his people, and they lost their country and they are forced to flee because when they stay, this company, they hired the help from the Indonesian army and forced them or kill them on site if they refuse and try to fight back. So that's Mesu. That's why his father took the guns back in the days. Now his father today is 1 year ago. Until his end, he was still fighting for us. So it's not only grassberg. There are many problems in West Papua, but nobody seems to care. Beautiful picture. This is our generation. This is the reality now in Papua. This is how our children are sitting in the land, on the soil. They don't know what the future is going to look like because they see the country. You know, it's very sad for me to look at this picture. For all these years, not by slow genocide, they kill us not only by guns. For us, it's not safe to go to the hospital because when you go there, you can get sicker or you can even die. So for us, it's not safe to go there. They poison us. They drive us over by car. When you go to the garden, they can kill you on spot without anything. When your father's going to the garden, and he might not come back home, and maybe you are lucky you can find his body, but sometimes there's no care because you don't have a body. That's the reality for our children. Ecocide, yes, that's also in West Papua. The destruction of our environment, that's also in West Papua. Indonesia doesn't care. It doesn't care that West Papua is the second largest lung of the earth, next besides the Amazon. They doesn't care. They just need to cut the trees, you know, like the MIFE project. They just cut the trees because palm oil is so important for the West. So ecocide is also in Papua. And we are also talking about ethnocide. Indonesia tries to steal they try to kill us, they steal our land, try to destroy our land, and now they are also trying to steal our culture, they're trying to steal our identity. Slowly by slowly, we are losing everything. So, it started all with grassberg. It started all with the mining of copper and gold. And it's still going on because recently they have discovered another mountain and there's still something going on. They call it the Wabu block. The Wabu block gold mine. They say that it's bigger than the grass mine. So that's why you can read some reports about the Lugama and Tanjaya tensions, big military operations over there. They blame it to our liberation movement. They blame it to the freedom fighters. Indonesia calls them terrorists, but they are defenders. They are not attacking Indonesia or whatever. They're taking people who are destroying the land and killing our people. So they blame it to the armed struggle, but actually they are defending our people. And because of this Wabu block, more than 60,000 Papuans are forced to refuge. That's what Henry was talking about. Mothers and children are forced to leave the villages and go seek for refuge in the jungle. There are many reports of children being dead and mothers being dead. And the men are likely to join the struggle, of course. We don't have to accept somebody come and kill our mothers and children. We don't have to accept that. When somebody come and come in your house and destroy everything, kills your mother, kills your sister, your brother, why should we accept anything? The men, the boys, of course they will join the movement. Of course they will take the bows and arrows and fight against the Indonesian military with the modern guns, whatever. But it's our right, it's our country. We have the right to defend our country by any means. We are not fighting against them. We are not occupying Indonesia. Indonesia is coming and taking and destroying everything, killing our people. So why shouldn't we stand up and fight? For me, being here, it's a privilege. It's an obligation. I stand here because he's not able to come here and tell you guys. He's the voiceless one. He's just sitting there, looking around, and he wonders whether his situation, whether he has a future in his own country. That's how he's just one, but there are many like him. And some of our children, they even sleep. They even have a good place to sleep. They sleep in caves or under the feet of mountains. Sometimes they are being chased by the Indonesian military. And please never say Indonesian security forces, because there are no security forces. We never feel security. We never feel secure in West Papua with their presence, because they can kill us on sight. As soon as you walk with this kind of bags, you can get arrested in Papua, or you have a bracelet like you have. It's not without risk. So that's why, thank you, Hendrik, for this opportunity. I like to come and tell our stories. It's not because it's a beautiful story, it's a sad story, but I want to inform you and hope to inspire you to do something with your freedom, to do something, to write something, and tell people about, okay, today I've heard this, that, about something is happening to the people of West Papua. Is that true? What can I do? What can our politicians do to help the people of West Papua? Of course, today we are all worried about the people in Ukraine and the people in Gaza. You know, everybody, they deserve all our sympathy and all our support. But what about us? Freeport was there since the 70s. The killing has been going on since then. We are talking about a slow genocide. Estimated 500,000 people are being killed. But nobody seems to care, so sometimes we just cry, and our mothers cry every day. And our children, they wonder if they still have a future in their own country. And people like me and our elders are very worried about our own existence. Will we still be there in 20 years? Or are people going to read somewhere on the internet, they used to be a people from this color skin with different hair living on this part of the world. And that's our nightmare, that's our greatest fear, but we never lose hope, we never give up. We will do everything to defend our mother, our land. We will do everything to defend our loved ones, just like you, I'm sure. You will do everything to defend your loved ones. If somebody comes and tries to harm your loved ones, you will do everything to defend them, by any means. So, I hope that our story about the impact of a gold mine to my people, I hope that this story will inspire you to think positive about your being, about your existence, about your freedom. And let's hope that we all can do our part to change this world, to make this world a better place. And let's hope that many years from now we can reflect back home today and say, okay, that day I realized that I can do my part to make a better world. Thank you. I forgot one thing. This is what I forgot. This is one of our views, our dream of tomorrow. Because whenever Papuans, we scream Papua Merdeka, Papua freedom, okay, that's something we do purely and from the heart. But it's not only about Merdeka, it's not only about freedom. When freedom comes, we want the freedom to look like this, and this is our vision about a freeless Papua. We want to make ecocide a serious criminal offense. Restoring guardianship of natural resources to indigenous authorities, combining Western democratic norms with local Papuan system. Yes, that's going to be a challenge, but this is something we think that's necessary, that needs to be done. We don't need to copy-paste the Western way of decision-making. Serving notice on all extraction companies, including oil, gas, mining, lodging, and palm oil, to require them to adhere to international environmental standards for cease operation. Yes, this would be one of our tasks, and that's if it's up to us, we will do so. That's the Green State vision. It's on paper, it's a beautiful vision for our people, but it's also a beautiful vision for the region, and maybe also for the world, because West Papua is a nation of sharing. You know, we never think about, we don't think that we care about ourselves, because that's our weakness. We care too much, and that's why people misuse our trust and enter our country and take everything. So that's the Green State vision, and I think that's the closing of my presentation. Thank you, danke, kasumasa. Wah, 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 wah. Now, if there are any questions, I hope it wasn't too fast, maybe it was too much information in 30 or 20 minutes or something. maybe it's too much information, but if there are questions, please do ask me a question and I will try to give answer. If I cannot answer it directly, I will try to think and give an answer. Thank you. No question. Oh, okay.
Is there anything specific we can do right now to support it? So, for example, I know that I think the EU and Indonesia are having talks about this trade agreement or something, and maybe, for example, I know there was the idea to get the EU to include human rights in that, for example. Would that be an idea?
Yeah, I think Germany, US people could sure write your politicians to raise questions in Berlin or in the Bundestag or maybe in Brussels to raise the issue, because actually human rights is part of this whole criteria to have this free trade agreement. So for us, maybe Indonesia should first invite the UN High Commissioner to visit us Papua to conduct a real fact-finding mission. Is it true? Is it true what the Papuans are saying? Is it true what the NGOs are saying? At least Indonesia should do that before they consider the whole free trade application. I think, yeah, the German people can do that. Can try to ask. You can ask your politician to write, or maybe they can knock at some doors in Brussels, because Brussels is not always that easy to bring forward some concerns. But I'm sure that certain people do have the right connections to knock on the right doors in Brussels. Because as we know, the Commissioner, Mr. Borrell, he is really changing his position. If it's about Indonesia, he's very, 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 he needs to be pushed to stand firmly on what is right. So thank you for the question.
Question. What do normal people in Indonesia think about the conflict?
Normally, I think in the past, a lot of Indonesians, they don't know about what is happening in West Papua. A lot of Indonesian students, they only read what the government has written in their history books. But they don't know what is happening in West Papua. They don't understand why the Papuan people are standing up for their rights. They don't understand. And sometimes I wonder, do they know that their own government, the Suharto regime, killed almost 2 million Indonesians in 1966. 2 million Indonesians, the same Suharto killed. I think a lot of Indonesians from this generation forgot about it. So we do, encourage, we do want to talk with Indonesians. You can't hate a people you don't know. And when we make music together, it's okay. Why they hate? Why do you hate us? We don't hate Indonesians. We just hate the system of oppression. We hate the system of colonization. So we hope that changing is coming. We have friends like Surya Anta, Ferino Potoman. They're not making friends in Indonesia, but those are the ones with lots of courage who are willing to stand up for what they believe is right. So it's not possible. It's not impossible, because actually we Papuans, we want to convince Indonesians first before we come here all the way to Europe and convince Europeans. I'm here, so that's why I do this, but actually we should convince Indonesians first, because they are our neighbors. But that's the challenge, and the change is coming. Indonesians are realizing, they know what's happening. Maybe some of them are getting fooled by this Opa Prabowo. He won the election by dancing, by TikTok, I heard. He was making this TikTok, the dancing grandpa, they call it. So people, maybe the new generation, they didn't know what this Prabowo has done. But he's a war criminal. General Prabowo, he married with the daughter of Suharto. So he knows very well, and he was involved in many massacres. Not only in East Timor, he was involved in massacres in Biak, in my home country, and he was involved in Wamena bloodshed. So this is a war criminal and who has now become a president. So yes, I think the Indonesian people will stand up when they know that this Prabowo is not a happy dancing grandfather. He's actually a war criminal, and the world will know. The world will find out about who this guy is, especially when he's going to work with Wiranto, he's going to work with the son of Yudhoyono, all former generals. So yeah, we are a little bit concerned about this new president, but actually maybe it's good, because yeah, everybody will know that he's a war criminal. Sorry, maybe it was too much.
There are many Indonesians living in Papua. Do you make a difference between Indonesians and people from Maluku?
Indonesians and people from Maluku.
Like some of these Maluku people are Christians and Javanese are not. Or do you all put them in Indonesian?
Yeah, I cannot judge, you know, because I grew up in Europe.
Okay.
But we have Indonesian friends, we have Moluccan friends, and I don't want people to always to put us in this religious discussion, because this is not a discussion of religion. This is a discussion of humanity. You know, if a Christian is praying for me but kill me the next day, what's the, you know, what's the logic in it? So Moluccans, yeah, I have some Moluccan friends. They are also fighting for their right to self-determination. But I have also some Indonesian friends who understands where I am coming from, and who understands why I'm an activist, or why I am standing for the right of my people. So it's not about, you know, it's not against the Indonesian people. It's against the system of colonization.
Nobody. Can you maybe tell us again, I forgot the number, what is the percentage of the Indonesian budget that comes from Grasberg?
Budget?
I think, you know, all the money that Indonesia earns. I know that a big part came from Grasberg.
Yeah, like I said, it's 30 million. A part of it goes to the United States, of course.
Sure.
But
most of it goes to Jakarta.
Not to Jakarta right now, because now they have the percentage. Jakarta is more than more than US, but it's still we are more than the half of 30 million a day. So that's just Grasberg, but there are a lot of, and we are not talking about illegal lodging or illegal
that
mining.
Comes on top, yes.
That comes on top. And our people are the ones who have to flee, who have to fear for their lives. So, yeah, actually I don't, yeah, it's very painful to talk about profits when it comes to human lives, you know what I think. I'm not a businessman. I don't think like a businessman. I don't think in terms of money about profit. I think as a freedom fighter, freedom is everything. Without freedom, there's nothing for our people. So, yeah.
Who is working in the mine?
Rocky?
Where? Who is working in the mines?
Oh, there are a lot of, there are foreigners. There are foreigners. There are a lot of Indonesians working there. There are some Papuans working there in the mine, but there are also foreigners. People from America, Australia, New Zealand. They are also working there. And Freeport is paying a lot of money for their protections. So sometimes when you read things on the internet about some class in the region, we should ask ourselves, is it really the Papuans who are attacking, or is it someone trying to create an unsafe condition so that their presence is needed? Because they got $20 million a year for their protection. That's what I read somewhere. But 20 million a year for the TNI, for the Indonesian army, I think that's a lot of money for some. So yeah, foreigners and Papuans, but yeah, I don't know where they have to work to find a living for their families. So, but it's not about that. It's about the killing and the destruction of our environment. Oh, okay.
Okay. What about your other neighbor, Papua New Guinea? How complicit are they in this?
Papua New Guinea, recently they started to raise their concern about their neighbor. Actually, PNG, Papua New Guinea, we are one race. We are Melanesians. We are one people. But because of the former colonizers, they drew a line. This is Papua New Guinea, this is West Papua. But we are actually one people. But somehow we understand their position. They are afraid of Indonesia. They are afraid of the Indonesian military forces. That's why PNG is very, very careful in everything what they say politically. But solidarity is there. But we, West Papua, we need more than solidarity. We need some action to actually save our people's life on the western part of the island. But PNG is having talks with President Joko Widodo. So they're having talks. So for us, okay, it's a good start, but we expect more from our brothers. So we said to our friends, okay, it's good, you have talks. Maybe you can put some sense to Jokowi, to the Indonesian government. Maybe they can realize, and they have talks about military cooperation. But they also have talks about the UN High Commissioner visit. They promised to grant access since 2018, since the former UN High Commissioner. But each time there's something for them to use it as an excuse not to grant access. What do you have to hide? Why is that not possible? If there's nothing to hide in West Papua, if there's nothing going on, why don't you just let the UN High Commissioner to come and conduct a fact-finding mission in those regions? You don't have to go visit the whole Papua. Just go to Nugama in Tanjaya, the places where you said that there's an uprising, and please go there. You don't have to talk with all the people. Just go talk with our mothers. Talk with our mothers in those areas. You will find out the truth. Talk with our mothers, because they are the ones who can tell about their pain, about their cry. So as long as, sorry, it was not about PNG, but yeah, we are happy that PNG is having talks with President Joko Widodo and talks with Retno Marsudi, the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's a step forward. But PNG, our people, Papuan people expect more from PNG, because we call ourselves Wantok. That's our Melanesian brother. But it's very difficult to accept them. They say, I'm with you, but you know, and then I continue. Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Do you know what they are afraid of? Like, does Indonesia have any power over Papua New Guinea at the moment, or are they afraid they will attack, or what do you think is their concern?
If you look at the statistic, Indonesian military is very, very powerful in the region.
Okay. So are they still stationed there?
They're stationed at the border,
Okay.
And there are a lot of military operations in the borderland. Yes, I'm not trying to put down the PNG Defense Force, but you cannot compare the PNG Defense Force with the Indonesian army. They got the support from America. They buy weapons from China, Russia, United States, Europe. They buy tanks from Germany. Yes. You know, they couldn't buy. We managed to stop them in the Netherlands, but they divert and they bought tanks from Germany. But you know, actually, we are not that scared in Papua for the tanks, because you cannot come with your tanks to our mountains. So, but that's one thing. You know, PNG is very afraid of Indonesia, because Indonesia is a military power. Of course, they have the right to defend the people, the nation. So, but I think they have the money they buy from what they stole from our country. So when we talk to Indonesian diplomats, so don't talk too much. You drive in a fancy Mercedes-Benz, but it's paid by our gold. That's what we tell to the Indonesian diplomats when they try to mock on us. Yeah, you're driving, you're wearing fancy clothes, but where do you get the gold from? No. So I think that's the reason why PNG is scared, because Indonesia's great military power in the region.
What do you think about the future? Are you hopeful?
If I was not hopeful, I wouldn't stand here. And one thing is what we activists, we are very hopeful, because we know that our strongest weapon is not the newest rocket or rocket launcher guns. Our weapon, our greatest weapon is our song, our guitar, and our weapon is art. That's what we use to inform people. That's what we use against the darkness. We see hope as a spark of light, as a candlelight, and we see the Indonesian aggression as the darkness which is trying. So sometimes it seems very dark. It seems like there's no hope because Indonesia is too strong, the military is too big, the Kopassus, the special forces is too violent. We should be scared. But if there's one person which is a candlelight in this darkness, there will always be hope. So of course we will believe until none of us exist, then there will be no hope. But as long as I can read, my brothers, my sisters, as long as we can read, I know we will fight, we will be that candlelight for our people to shine a light in their darkness. So you can also be that candlelight for your people, for your family. So it's up to you. How do you see life? You want to sit down and await the darkness, or you want to shine light on your family and your other loved ones? Yeah.
Grasberg is almost finished, but you say there's a new Wabu block.
The Wabu block.
Do you think the Indonesians can exploit this without Western engineers?
I think they have the potential, because they were already talking, years ago, they were already talking about building a smelter in...
without Americans, without Canadians?
Why not? If they can make their own guns, of course they can try to. If China can do it, why not Indonesia? But the Wabu block, you can Google, you can look it up, the Wabu block mine. That's another bigger mine, and that's the main source of problem in the recent conflicts in Ndugama and in Tanjaya. So when you read things about some military tension, it's about gold. So it's the real Avatar. If you know the first edition of Avatar, when the world went to this planet in search of minerals, it was in that movie. The real Avatar was Papua. You know, this richness in natural resources is actually our curse.
Yes. You will be free once all is gone.
All is gone, and they will give us freedom.
Yes.
We will have
then you sit on a mountain of rubbish.
Rubbish. We will live on a polluted river or a sea. So, that's not a life. Life should, you should live your life. So, when your mother is dead, your dad is gone. There's no life. Like I said, we cannot eat gold. We cannot eat money. But we can surely go to a garden and find some food and drink water. We hope that we can still drink water. I hope one day the world will realize that you cannot eat money or gold. I hope that one day before it's too late. I hope a lot of people in the world will realize that actually you don't have to destroy things to make money, try to go to find life somewhere in the space, try to do things to protect the earth you live on, you know. I think really it's not that difficult to count. It takes less money to preserve nature than to build rockets to go to find water somewhere, you know. So that's yeah, maybe they call us primitive people, but I think that's the most logical thing to think about. Yeah, protect the mother, protect our planet, and yeah. Thank you for this opportunity. And life is more than about gold and money. Life is about life. Thank you. Close with one song. I would like to share this song, Mysterious Life, Misteri Hidup. This is my father's last song. If you know my story, my father got killed in 1984. And before he got killed, he wrote this song, Mysterious Life, Misteri Hidup. He wrote this song behind the Indonesian bars. So for me, it was always difficult to sing this song because every time when I sing this song, it brings me to his jail cell. I imagine him writing this song, knowing that he was going to die. And this is a message he left, not only for his sons, his wife and his unborn son, my youngest brother Raki, never met my father. But this is a song he left for his people. And this song is still the symbol of hope in our struggle. Our activists, our elders, my generation, the new generation, every time when they feel down, every time when they are afraid, they sing this song. Especially the chorus. Yang kundamba, yang nanti hanya kebebasan. Everything, I don't know what's, everything I've experienced, everything I'm going to experience, everything is nothing less than for freedom. So this song is a beacon of hope for my people. We always sing this song when we feel weak, when we feel left behind, and I want to share with you. Misteri Hidup.